So then, for people who have emotions stuck in their body, it's suppressed and they have so many diseases, how can they overcome these emotions? Like, what's the first step that they can take to start processing their emotions and releasing that baggage?
So there's a lot. First of all, they have to accept that there's an underlying emotional. I think a lot of people in today's day and age, because there's so much of information out there, they just land up taking it as a physical. So if it's a physical disease, means it has to be a physical reason. So then they'll start with all these new age diets and detoxes and all of that. And that's why, Neha, even I'm sure you in your work also, you must have seen people who are doing diet shopping.
Yeah.
They'll start keto for 3 months, it doesn't work, then they'll kind of do something else, then they'll do something else, they're jumping, and their issues are still not getting resolved.
Yeah, it's more like nutrition shopping, nutritionist shopping.
Exactly.
Because they're like at one nutritionist clinic this month, next month they're trying somebody else, and I'm like, wow, this doesn't work.
So, I mean, in fact, a lot of my clients ask me, when will I lose weight?
Yeah.
And the minute I hear the word weight, I'm like, I'm sorry, forget me. Even the best of psychics and the best of astrologers cannot answer that, because the weight is based on 8 to 10 different factors.
Yeah.
There are so many things that influence weight.
Yeah.
It is your physical genetic. Sometimes it is your ancestral lineage, that's carrying certain genes. It's your mental programming with food, how you perceive food. It's your emotions with how you're perceiving food, how you're eating food.
Yeah.
That makes a world of a difference. It's the chemicals in the body. There are 1,300 chemicals in the body. Then it's your hormones.
Yeah.
Then it's also about your choices, your day-to-day lifestyle choices, and then sometimes it's karmic. So there are so many factors that influence body weight, disease, illness, that it's just not a straight up answer. No one can answer that in one word.
Yep, because I've seen a lot of clients who come to me and they're eating right, they're exercising, like the diet is not that bad.
Yeah.
And, they're also active and they're doing everything right as per the book.
Yeah.
Right? But somehow they just can't lose that weight. And of course, your stress and all these other factors also play a role, and it affects your hormones and stuff. But even after you've assessed all of that, there are some clients who you can just meet and talk to them and understand that this is beyond physical.
Yeah.
It's not coming because of their physical reasons.
True.
Or the, most sort of obvious reasons. It's coming from a deeper space.
True.
So sometimes, you really wonder, are these people choosing to carry that weight for a certain reason? Is it very psychological? Is it very, subconscious? What is it like?
It can be a mix of everything, to be honest, Neha, and it depends from person to person. Every case is very different, right? I've seen people, so let's understand body, right? We are all living in a body, and in our day-to-day activity, we need a certain energy that is needed to carry on your day-to-day activities. Now notice when you're leaving work 9 to 5, you're doing a job and you have 10 things to do in the day, or an athlete.
Yeah.
Their diet or their food craving or their appetite will be very different versus someone who's just chilling at home all day. Someone who's chilling at home all day technically does not need that much energy because they're not doing anything. But then they are the ones who land up eating more. So coming back, one is the food body requirement. Second is your mind programming. Our mind is the CPU of our entire existence, and you agree. I don't need to sit and give any more explanation. It's self-explanatory. Whatever code you put in the mind is equal to B. Every time you feed A, the mind will bring up B. 99.9% of the people associate food with weight or fat.
Yes.
Food is equal to energy. But I've seen people, and I'm sure you also, if I sip on water also, I put on weight. If I breathe also, I put on weight. You are telling your mind that with every breath I take, I have to put on weight. With every sip of water, because that becomes the equation.
They are
And
forming that.
They are forming that. And your brain is connected to your gut with the vagus nerve.
Yeah.
So your brain perceives air, your brain is breathing, but the vagus nerve is telling the gut that, okay, she's taking a deep breath. So that is equivalent to fat
Yeah.
or weight.
Yeah, just
And
add on everything because...
But if you associate food with just energy, you are not going to put on weight.
Yeah.
You
That
know?
means the intention you put in your food while eating makes a huge difference, right?
Not only the intention, it's how your relationship with food
How you're
is.
perceiving food, yeah.
Now, Neha, you could be the nicest person, but if in my head I've equated Neha as threat, as a murderer. Every time I see you, every time you even come to touch me, I will push you away. Or I'll be like, no, you're a murderer. That's what we do to our food. You know? So you could be eating with the right intentions, but it also depends on what has already been programmed
Yeah.
inside of you.
Yeah.
You know, and this happens at a very early age, right? Especially, like I said, it's not only the family that influences you. From the age of 7 to 21, our programming is all fed. So once you are out of your family environment, you go to school, you're with your friends, you're in your surroundings, you're watching social media. Back in the day, we didn't have social media when we were growing up.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we've all heard people say that, oh, don't eat carbs, you'll put on weight. Or why are you having french fries?
Chawal mat khao, aloo mat khao. These are very common
Yeah,
things.
these are very common things. And that is what we are feeding into the brain, okay? If they were so harmful, they would have not been in the, nature ecosystem in the first place.
Yeah.
Think about it. You know, why aren't we eating ants and caterpillars?
I mean, people are eating that in different parts of
Yeah,
the world,
but
but
maybe-
yeah, that's not a staple.
But that's not a staple, right? I mean, but any part of the world you go to, people are still consuming rice and carbs
Yeah.
is needed. So carbs is a source of energy, but a lot more dense energy. But if we equate that to fat or weight,
Yeah.
every time your body even gets a taste of carbs, it will convert that into fat or weight.
Because you've programmed it.
Because
that
you've
way.
programmed it,
Yeah.
The same as sugar, and also again emotions play an important role.
Yeah.
Because your emotional system controls your chemicals, right? Your emotional system also controls your DNA functioning. It is true that DNA cannot be changed, but how your genes react
Yeah.
in the presence of your emotions,
Yeah.
that makes a world of a difference.
Yeah. That's epigenetics.
That's epigenetics. Like two siblings, their body type is very different. Their emotions are very different. They could be eating the same food, but their body weight will be very different. Their appearances will be very different.
Yeah, in fact, I actually read about this experiment that they did on these twins.
Yeah.
A set of twins.
Yeah.
Same, obviously they're born, they're identical twins.
Yeah.
But they kept them in different environments and different emotional and mental programming.
Yeah.
And both of them looked absolutely different. One was healthy, the other one was absolutely unhealthy, overweight.
Yeah.
Whereas they were born at the same time.
Yeah.
With, with obviously probably similar genetic makeup
Yeah.
or whatever. But because the epigenetics was different,
Yeah.
the environment was different, the outcome and the results were absolutely different.
So there is actually an experiment where a human DNA in isolation has been tested with different emotions. With any kind of low vibrational emotions, the DNA has coiled up. It's become a lot more rigid.
Wow.
DNA is supposed to be fluid.
Yeah.
The more fluid, the more loose our DNA structure is, the more there's space for us to grow on every level. The more dense our emotions are, there is no space. It coils up. Now imagine that is happening every single minute within our body. How are we going to be healthy?
Yeah, obviously.
So there are so many factors, right? And even in terms of emotions, happy emotions, sad emotions, angry emotions, insecurity, in the world today where we all feel so unsafe, right? Even that emotion of not feeling safe will change the person's food habit, will change the relationship with the food.
Yeah.
Even with weight and fat, Now, food is a separate scenario, and weight and fat is a separate scenario. I've dealt with cases, Neha, where a client had come to me, very pretty girl, but overweight. And when we kind of started tapping into, because she came from a very good looking family, very healthy family, very, very health conscious family, and she was the odd one out, and it would bother her. And she must have been in the mid 30s, looking to get married, wanting to lose weight. Now, when I tapped into her energetic field, and I brought up certain incidences, at the age of 11 or 12, she was sexually molested. Now, that child, because she knew she was a good looking baby, everyone would tell her that, that child associated sexual harassment with her looks. And that kind of impacted that, okay, to avoid this, let me start looking ugly. That's how programming works. So, in order to look ugly, the body started doing everything that makes her less attractive so that she won't be molested again.
And that must be at such a subconscious level, right?
Happens
Like
at
consciously you don't even know you're like thinking like this, or
Yeah.
you're programming your mind in a certain way.
Yeah.
But subconsciously you don't want to experience that again.
True.
So you sabotage yourself in a way that you do not have to go through it again.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
And also a fact that anything that your subconscious is repeating for more than 72 hours, or any emotion that you're constantly feeling for more than 72 hours, goes and gets pushed in the unconscious. Unconscious mind or unconscious brain is something not everyone talks about. Everyone's only talking about subconscious and conscious. There's also an unconscious.
And what does that do?
Unconscious is your B2, your basement 2. When your basement 1 car park is full, what happens? People start parking in the basement 2.
Even poorer network. Total poor network.
No network at
No
all.
network.
So that's the job of a healer, to go into the unconscious and subconscious to dig up all that's showing up. So coming back, another scenario, beautiful lady, tall, absolutely healthy, slim, trim, all of that, lost her father at the age of 46, and she was extremely close to her father. She felt very unsafe, or a sense of security.
Because the father is no more.
She started subconsciously putting on weight in order to feel safe.
So it's a cushion, right? Your
It's a
fat is a
cushion.
cushion
Yes.
to protect you when you feel that there's going to be some crisis or
Yeah.
some sort of threat that comes your way.
Absolutely. So every person has a different way of perceiving things, right? Again, coming back to twins or two siblings, if your mother says the same thing to you and your sibling, you will respond to it very differently. Your sibling will respond to it very differently.
Yeah.
So every case is so different and
Every
so
soul
unique.
has come with their own journey and their own lessons that they have to learn.
And also
right?
their eco programming, right? What they kind of go through.